Okay, so hi, my name's Hannah Horner. So my opinion on participation trophies, it's kind of a mixed opinion. I think that when you're young and when you're first starting out with sports, it is something that can kind of keep you interested if you know that you're gonna like receive a trophy. But I definitely think that it's something once kids really start to understand sports, and they really understand like how to play, I think it's something that completely needs to go away. And I'll get further into that. Um, so, did I receive participation trophies as a child? Um, I might have. I think I received participation ribbons. So, like when I ran in a cross country race, I received a ribbon, but I didn't receive a lot of trophies. If I did, they're gone because once I started to get older, I realized like when I have my trophies sitting out on a shelf, I don't want participation trophies because it showed that I obviously wasn't good enough to receive another trophy, so why keep it? So that was kind of like my belief once I started to get older. So how did it impact me as an athlete? You know, I think when I was younger, but still old enough to understand what a participation trophy meant, it kind of pushed me as an athlete. I would receive them and I'd be like, this isn't good enough. I need to receive an actual trophy. And so it usually pushed me to like work harder. And that's kind of the same as being like a student. Like if I just received like kind of something that was lackluster or not as great a recognition, I was like, I'm gonna work harder because I don't want this again. It feels awful. So that's just kind of how it impacted me as a whole, as an athlete, student, just a person in general, a competitor. I think that the question, why does this topic matter so much in our society today, and why is it such a big issue, is because a lot of kids have the mindset that because they're receiving something, they don't need to push themselves as hard. I know there probably is individuals like me that still are like, once they understand it, they're like, wait, what the heck? I need to try harder. But there are a lot of kids that when they receive a participation trophy, they're like, okay, cool, I got our participation trophy. I can just keep doing what I'm doing and I'll still get a trophy. And so I feel like that kind of makes everybody's like work ethic a little lower. And I liked that the video mentioned that like participation trophies are an artificial success. So they're claiming that you did something correct or that you were successful in this, but it's really just like a fake and temporary thing because or like until you realize what it like the participation trophy actually means. And at the time, yes, it may make them feel special, but it doesn't teach them about real competition because once they get out into the real world, you're not going to get participation trophies. Heck, when you enter high school, you're not going to get participation trophies. So, although it might seem harsh and like tough love, not giving them participation trophies as kids will teach them that like they're not going to win everything and that you have to work for the things that you want because that's how it's going to be obviously later once you get into like middle school, high school, any real life situation really later in life. And then I also like the fact that the video pointed out when you give them a trophy for nothing, it makes them feel like they did something right. And so they kind of get the mentality of settling for things. And when I heard this in the video, I immediately thought of, I have a dog and she likes to steal pillows off the couch or steal people's shoes, and she won't bring them back unless she knows she's going to get something. And so I have family members that will just, get a treat out of a treat jar, give her a treat, and she'll give the pillow back. And it's like, you may be getting the pillow back, but you're teaching her that that behavior is okay by giving her something. And so I feel like that's kind of the same with participation trophies. You're giving them something that makes them think that what they're doing is perfectly okay. Whereas you don't want to repeat that behavior. Once again, that sounds kind of harsh, but you don't want them to lose. You don't want their skills to be lackluster. You want them to improve, and they're not going to do that if they think that what they're doing is perfectly fine because they're getting a trophy for it. And then when I read the article, One of the things that I guess my biggest takeaway, what I got from it, was that yes, parents want their child to learn a sport and to have fun and enjoy it, but they tend to want to control the components that could take away from that, such as like losing or not receiving a trophy. And so that's why parents, they support the participation trophies, or heck, after you lose a game, they take you out to your favorite like ice cream parlor or your favorite lunch spot. And like, I get it, some kids might cry and you don't want them to cry, but at the same time they're going to start believing that what they're doing is okay, and that they're doing just fine when in fact they could be doing better. And so I feel like that article kind of highlights that parents feel the need to take control of those situations when in fact you sometimes you just need to let them learn. And I feel like that's hindering their learning in the athletic world.